Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Manga Panel Podcast number 2. Today, we're doing what we do every single week. To start off, we're just going to do a brief introductions, because last time I feel like we didn't really get everyone's names all the way, and nobody knows who we are if you're finding this channel and just because you like Shonen Jump like we do. So, to start off, my name is Key. I run a YouTube channel of my own, Key of Time 15, or whatever you look it up. And my favorite manga is Bleach. Who's up next?
Aiden.
Okay.
Go with Aiden.
I'm Aiden, or Linkachu. I also do YouTube, but mostly Nintendo content. If you're interested in Nintendo content, you can go check out my channel, Linkachu. But if you want to hear me talk about anime and manga and ramble, you can find me on AniList, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Linkachu33. And my favorite anime and manga is Gintama.
Good shit.
Thank you. Go for it.
My name is Bo. I also have a Nintendo-focused YouTube channel, Bo Talks Media. Go check out that. I also have a manga channel separate from this called Shonen Soup. Not as frequent on there, but go check out that. And my favorite manga is a toss-up between Bakuman and Naruto. I'm pretty basic in that way, but
Bakuman is not a basic choice.
Okay, Naruto's the basic choice. Bakuman's the real choice
The
that I
real
feel in my
choice,
heart.
Yeah. That's why we do this podcast. It's Pokemon that brought us here.
Yeah. Trent?
Like Bo said, I'm Trent, and
Bo said he's Trent.
I named you. I named you.
And I don't do much on content, but I do have Twitch, Turtle Boy, that's speedrunning content for the most part, but didn't really go off the ground, so it's not really anything.
And he's got a camera this time.
Yeah.
I do have a camera. I'm not a cat anymore. I'm a human.
On.
Bo just named me, so I'm
Yeah.
having a name.
You're born. Welcome to the world.
He was born. All right. Yeah. That's
Oh, my
introduction.
favorite
yeah, I was
manga
gonna
is
say,
Chainsaw Man.
Hell yeah.
All right. Good stuff.
Forgot about it.
Sorry, it's hard to have a favorite manga when you just started existing 2 seconds ago.
It's true. Chainsaw Man's
That's
short.
true
So
of it.
that's a
That
good- that's a
Chainsaw
good-
Man makes sense then. If you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
born 2 seconds
Right.
Chainsaw Man.
My favorite manga is actually Aliens Area.
That's
Yeah.
the only thing I've read.
We're all, so we kind of talked a little bit about it last week, that we're not all caught up on everything in Jump. So we've been grinding out reading manga. If you want to start us, Aki, what have you started reading? What are you working on right now?
So I'm getting caught up on mostly everything. I was really grinding out. Like, when I'm at work, right before going to bed, when I'm on the toilet, like a lot of us are, I feel like I'm just there reading a lot. So this past week, I got caught up on Elusive Samurai, PPPPPP. Is that enough keys? I don't know. I get
Close
lost. I got caught up on Earthchild. I was caught up on last time, but I got caught up on Dororon, and I think that's everything that I got differently.
And what have you started now? What are you working through right now?
Oh, right now I am currently working through Bakuman and Jeez, what else am I working on?
Mashle.
Yeah,
right? It was
Mashle. Good one. Yeah, no, Mashle, right, of course.
Wasn't better than you. You know yourself.
Like a teacher at like a kid's play, like whispering the next line.
Yeah.
You're doing
Behind the
Mashle.
curtain.
But yeah, Mashle's great. I'm loving Mashle. Harry Potter the manga.
Yes. What about you, Bo? What about you?
I was pretty busy this week, but I did manage to catch up on Earthchild, so it was only 15 chapters, so
Right.
caught up on that. Still reading through Black Clover. Not currently weekly, but it's coming back. I want to get caught up before that comes back. And then last night I started and read through the first 10 chapters of Elusive Samurai, finally.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
pretty good.
Great.
Very nice. And Trent, go for it.
Yeah, for me, I'm still chugging on that One Piece train. And then I started Mission Yozakura Family, which has been really surprised me in how much I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then I also started playing Rhythm Heaven, which has taken up way more time than manga reading.
That's awesome.
I should also mention I started watching Hunter x Hunter in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll
so
get to that in a second.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And but Trent, where are you in One Piece? Just as kind of like as a time mark.
Oh, I'm still in Water 7, like I was last week.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of Water 7 now, though, so it's like really interesting.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So for me, I finished High School Family Kokosei last week, and last night started Mission Yozakura Family, and I only read like 3 chapters of that. We'll get into that later in this episode. And then we obviously have had the bomb dropped on us that Hunter x Hunter is going to be making its return. We have no idea when it's coming back to Jump, so I decided I'm going to try to get caught up as quickly as I can. Just because when this comes out, we're literally a manga podcast about Jump. If no
We
one
cannot
can
not talk about Hunter x Hunter,
we
dude.
have
We
to
need
be able to talk about Hunter x Hunter when it comes back. It's such a big deal. So yeah, I'm.
Where are you at? What arc are you on?
I actually got, so I'm 70 chapters in. I'm on York New, which is my
That's where I'm
favorite
at in the anime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
This is my first time going through, so I don't know.
yeah,
This is all new to me.
I watched it. I found out through my Netflix. I watched 100 episodes, what Netflix had at the time when I was a kid. So I watched 100 episodes of Hunter x Hunter. Thought that was the ending. It was like, oh, okay. Like, it just ends in the middle of Chimera arc. Yeah, that's fine. I was a dumb kid. But yeah, so now I'm reading it, and York News is awesome. It's really good. It's got lots of classic shonen, and it's fun. It's a good
Yeah. Tagashi's great.
Yep. Yeah,
He's a
so
legend.
are we good to start jumping into talking about the rankings and then going through each series?
Pun intended.
All right, let's so yeah, we're going to start off looking at the top of the rankings this week. Aliens Area comes in at first. The brand new series comes in at first, which for a brand new series, that's amazing. Got to start off on a great first step. And yeah, that's awesome to see. And then obviously you have your usuals in the top 4, One Piece, My Hero, Sakamoto Days. But Mission Yozakura Family at 5 is interesting to see. Cause
Last week it was what, 13?
Yeah, so like
Right.
really wavering.
Pretty big
So,
jump
yeah,
up.
we're not. None of us here are caught up with Yozakura enough to be like, oh, I know why it was at 5th. But yeah,
Right.
Akane-Banashi's been holding solid ground, and same with Elusive Samurai. And Super Smartphone hasn't gotten below 10, which is really good for the first 5 chapters. Hopefully, it keeps it up. Witch Watch at 10 is solid. Mashle's about Mashle, PPP, that's pretty average for them. Roboco for gag manga. It's surprising, really surprising to see Blue Box this low.
I have a lot to say about Roboco this week, but
Yeah.
yeah keep going.
Yeah, Blue Box this low is really weird because I feel like for the longest time it was like top of the charts, so maybe it's starting to slip a little. I don't think in quality it's starting to slip, so it's just maybe just being outranked by other things, and that's kind of all.
I think something also. I don't know if you guys read PB or Keys caught up, but
I am, yeah.
today was a really good chapter, and I feel like a lot of the series that like are usually in the middle of the bunch had really good chapters, like as you can see with like Yozakura Family.
Yeah,
so like
Mashle's also really good.
right. So I feel like Blue Box usually varies between the top and the middle, and since the people that are usually in the middle did really good, I think
Yeah.
it just got bumped down a little
Yeah,
bit. So I don't
and-
think it's anything to worry about. I think it just got bumped down by
Yeah.
other chapters or other series having good.
But that was,
Yeah.
but my only notice is that was also the same last week, and it always
Oh, it
doesn't
was?
always. Yeah, it was low last week
Wow.
as well. So that's where I'm kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that.
And we'll
I
talk
didn't
a lot
know that.
about this
Scary.
as we go through we go through the rankings every week. It's just that just because something's low doesn't mean it's inherently bad. It just means it's probably being beaten by other things.
Yeah,
Low also does mean bad sometimes.
And I mean, Undead Unluck did pretty decent this time too. It gave us a really big reveal. We'll talk about that later, but I mean, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily doing bad. It's just kind of sitting there because everything else just did better. So,
Yeah, I mean, though in Undead Unluck's case, it hasn't been holding very high rankings for a while. And with a new series coming in and hitting first off the bat, obviously, Aliens Area is too early to judge on how it will do rankings wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, Earthchild, Doron Dororon, and now Protect Me Shogumaru are the bottom 4. So we'll just see.
Goodbye, Shogumaru.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Shogumaru.
Bye,
Finally.
Shogumaru.
we won't
No
miss you.
one will miss you.
So yeah, that's just kind of the rankings this week. Let's jump in and we'll start off by talking about Aliens Area just because it's the brand new series. We should have everyone hear about it. But yeah, anyone want to start us off with Aliens Area?
I already uploaded a video on this on Shonen Soup, so go check out that also. Listen, I'm new to this whole like reading every series weekly,
Yeah,
you know, or attempting to it. So reading a new chapter of a new series without like being able to binge it is kind of a new experience for me. I started with Red Hood though, and Doron Dororon also last year, and similar vibe. Aliens Area, I like the first chapter a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the characters are great. The idea of him having this like space energy arm is awesome. There's so much potential
Yeah.
There's so much potential here. So I will say I was a little disappointed that I mentioned this in one of my videos. My one hope for the series was that it wasn't set in Tokyo. There's so many freaking manga in Tokyo, or just like, or even just Earth.
Yeah.
So to see it another one, like this could have been an awesome, like, I don't know if anybody here reads Eden Zero. I'm not caught up on or anything. I just wanted something more extraterrestrial and driven.
I know what you mean. Like Tokyo, it does feel like a lot of series are set in Tokyo. And actually, now that you're saying this out loud, I really would have liked it if they'd set it in a more like urban setting or something. Yeah, like that.
Just something else.
Yeah,
you know, like
even if it was on Earth, just somewhere else.
Like, did you ever read or like watch Higurashi When They Cry? It's a horror series, really old. No. That's set in an urban setting, and it just makes it 10 times creepier just because of that. So if they were to do that with Aliens area, that would have blown away. But
I also I think like Aliens, like I feel like it's like also America that has like the big like
yes, exactly. It could have been
But like you also like, and this is like a problem I see with a lot of manga, or it's just like it's either Japan or it's like it is sometimes America. But it's like that's it. Like there's so many other places in the world that I think would be like super interesting. Like I feel like that's just a problem with manga in general. Like there's like nothing set in Europe ever. Like it's like when I read like lots of Urasawa work, he says in Europe, and I'm like, man, like these are settings that are very new. Like because it's always in Tokyo or it's always like in America. I guess the way the media is, right? You always love your homeland the most. So
right.
Yeah, it's just it was interesting. I guess like. For me, I thought it was really solid. Like, I was actually really, really hooked. The character was cool. I had, like, immediately a great emotional attachment because, like, obviously it's the guy who's kind of trying really hard for his siblings. Like, it's super awesome. And I felt like there was a lot of questions I immediately had, which, for a first chapter, having a lot of questions that I'm itching to have answers, that's awesome. Because on next week, that's going to be, like, the first thing I read. Like, I'm excited for it. And it was,
for sure.
I love the art. The main character was interesting.
Art was really good.
He wasn't super shonen, and that was kind of cool. He's just like a regular guy. Obviously, we've seen that. It gave me lots of like kind of like Parasite feelings. The dude actually,
yeah, definitely.
The guy actually just had the gum fruit. Like
no, literally. What I said in my video,
he's literally got Luffy. He's got Luffy's powers mixed with Migi from Parasite. I'm just like, I've seen this before, but.
I was in my backyard when I was reading it. I literally yelled, "Go, go, no pistol!" in my backyard.
yeah, it was an awesome first chapter. The alien designs were like creepy enough that it was like, cool.
It reminded me of almost like Don, like how creepy the designs are in that.
So I think that'll be fun. Like it's like got a really cool artistic element to it. Drawing because it was like classical, like obviously like your gray alien kind of. Alien and then mixed with like a human design. It was really cool. So I can't wait to see. I hope, and it's obviously we just talked about this like not being set in anywhere but Tokyo. But I really hope they push like the alien thing a lot, where it's like a lot of series sometimes forget that their whole thing is like aliens and stuff. I'm looking at Gintama, where just like uses an entire human cast, where its whole premise is that aliens are on Earth. So I hope they really push like cool alien designs and stuff like that a lot. Where I just hope and not have him just be an alien, and that's the end.
And it kind of subverted my expectations a little bit too. Hajime, the guy that works for the police or whatever, the security bureau. The end of the chapter shows this panel. His goal is to actually have them all coexist. I did not expect that to be the angle. I thought it'd be humans versus aliens. No, they want to coexist. So I think that's just like kind of interesting angle they're going for.
Absolutely.
I've heard this said like even before the chapter release, people were comparing it a lot to Men in Black. Just because like the memory wipe thing that they use at the end and
memory wipe.
Yeah. And I think that's an interesting premise for them to like kind of make it so that there's like rules like you violate intergalactic law, you can't do this shit. But actually trying to like make them coexist with humans and stuff is something really cool that I could see being implemented in a lot of different ways. Maybe have like a criminal syndicate just for the aliens show up at some point. Just like I'm looking forward to seeing them like tackle crime on the intergalactic scale. That's my biggest hope for it. But yeah, Trent, I think you were trying to say something, but I cut you off.
No, I was just saying the memory wipe device. It's like spot on the same device from Men in Black. Yeah. Also, it calling back to his history where like the device was clearly used on him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
It like really makes me excited to see what happened to his past, like in his past, and maybe he sees aliens that like directly affected his parents. The loss of his parents.
That's what I was gonna say. They're setting up so much that like if the series does well, I can imagine, 100, 200 chapters from now, we're getting like in-depth flashbacks about like who the alien was that attacked his parents in his house and everything. Like, there's so much set up in this first chapter that if they do the world building right, it could be really good.
Yeah, I think it could be really solid. It's also like it feels a little different. It feels a little different standing in Jump, which is cool because you always want something to be like shonen, but also a little non-standard. I feel like that's some of the best. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Its art's really amazing. I think it'll be a good
talking about non-standard. You never see aliens. I feel like you almost never see aliens in like
Dawn to Dawn
Shonen
was like
Jump, especially.
one of the only other ones that I can think of.
That's what I was trying to think of other series that had aliens. I forgot Gintama had aliens in it.
Yeah.
And like Dawn to Dawn has aliens in it, but that's all I could think of.
It's like it's not a super common thing, which is cool. So I really hope they handle it well because I think that would be like a super important thing for Jump right now.
Yeah, I thought it was you guys mentioned the memory wiping, which is cool in this. That's funny though. We just coincidentally have another series in Jump right now with memory wiping tech, tech and Earthchild. So I thought that was funny, but
for sure.
We're all good on Aliens area.
Anyone I think so. I mean, I've talked about it enough.
Yeah. Let's dive into our all of our favorite, the best of the magazine. Protect Me, Shogumaru. We have to sadly here say goodbye. Last week we held like a bit of a memorial service for Ayashimon. Let's all take a moment of silence for Shogumaru and his.
I don't have the image anymore.
And
Wait, do I?
And his crucifixion.
I don't have the image anymore. I was gonna pull it up.
Lord and Savior Shogumaru.
Yeah. Recently he was crucified in like chapter 20 or 25. So and now it has ended. None of us read Shogumaru. We just like.
I'm so glad I don't have to.
And I'm kind of glad we don't have to.
I never will.
It was Trent, right? Yeah, Trent found that chapter 8 was locked.
Yeah. I was trying to look at the new. I was trying to look at the new chapter to find like new meme panels, and then I saw in the description that chapter 8 is age restricted and web only. So I was like, what the hell happens in chapter 8? And thanks to Aiden's research, we found out that there's just a dick joke the whole chapter. It's just a penis joke the whole time.
There's a dude shaped like a dick. And it's like that was like where I was like flipping through it. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't have to read that.
Yeah, but then again, your favorite series has penis jokes like every other episode.
Yes, that's true. Like... That's true. That's also true. Yeah, so we didn't really read Shogumaru. It's kind of, I mean, it's always sad to see a series end, but I kind of felt like from the beginning Shogumaru was kind of doomed. It was definitely one of those when it came in with Ayashimon, Doron Dororon, and Shogumaru, it didn't stand out even close to as much. And I just felt like its target demographic was literally towards children until it had a chapter that was 18 plus. So I guess I don't even think the mangaka knew what he was making.
You lost half your readers the moment you made a penis joke. The moms were just like, "No, you can't read this."
Look at the rankings. Maybe that's when it started slipping. Chapter 8, just poof, dive bombed. But yeah, no. See you, Shogumaru.
Bye, Shogumaru.
That's
it. Bye.
None of us really read it. I'm sorry.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
No.
I think, and yeah, it's interesting because I think the mangaka does like I think I've looked into it, like he does a school parody of One Piece or something.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, that's him.
That oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's interesting. We'll see what he does next. I'm sure.
At least you got that going for you, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You got something.
He'll come back with like the craziest battle manga in the exact same.
Yeah, the man just absolutely pops off in this next series.
He writes 2-piece.
Yeah, he makes 2-piece.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about Doron Dororon. I think this is one we're all now caught up on.
Yeah, we're all caught up on it now, I think, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So Doron was an interesting chapter. I
really enjoyed it.
This was where I was like
battle chapter.
It was a really cool battle chapter, but I was kind of like, okay, I feel like this is its one chance to really start pushing itself up in the rankings, and it didn't. But it's got really cool battles and amazing art, and it was enjoyable to read. So just to see it rank really poorly, it's just kind of like, ooh, I don't think it's gonna survive this next wave of new manga.
No, I don't think. I think it's gone.
I think it's too standard basic shonen, and I think that's the end of it. Which is a shame because it really introduced like a really cool character, but I think it was just far too late. By the time they did, it was like, it was. At
that point, the cast of cool characters is like 2 or 3 at that point. So it's like you kind of need more than that if you're trying to carry yourself on good characters.
And of course, I
Yeah.
think it's got more time because obviously, clearly, they're wrapping up Shogumaru Ayashimon. We probably would have felt like there was being a bit of a wrap in this chapter if they were telling it to wrap up.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be the case, so I think it's got a little bit more fight left in it. And
I give it like another 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, I
like
feel
2
like,
months. I think.
I think the next serialization meeting, when we probably get a new wave of manga, that's probably when it'll be on the way out. If it unless it changes something before then, which I just for the way it is, unless something crazy happens, I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, Shogumaru's on the way out, so that leaves an empty slot, but that's going to be filled by Rui Dragon, right? So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
means it'll be just like a full thing. So yeah, maybe after something new comes in, but for now...
After Earthchild gets canceled.
Yeah.
No, please don't cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, unless we have other things to talk about with Doron, we can go talk about
I mean, more about just the series as a whole.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just so basic. It's just so basic.
It's really
And
basic.
I was talking to someone else. I forget the name of the new girl that replaced the other girl.
Yeah.
Clearly, I was talking to someone else about this. Like it always sucks when you can tell a mangaka is actually just trying to please readers.
Yeah.
When you can tell they're doing stuff because they know they're failing, it hurts. Because the character is great. It is a really great character. She's probably the best character in the series aside from Kusanagi, but it's just too late. It's too little.
Yeah.
And it's too obvious that he was trying to do something to save it.
Yeah. But my thing was, I think he pulled a lot of punches with some fights too. Like I felt like there was a lot of moments.
No, this chapter's a great.
This chapter was amazing, but I felt like there's points where he could have had this fight chapter happening earlier, stuff like that. I felt like there was a little bit too much dilly-dallying with some of the pacing. I was like, I felt like because he clearly thrives in action. His art is amazing.
Yeah.
The fight panels are so beautiful. So he clearly thrives there. It's just like, if you push this story along a little quicker, I think it could have been doing so much better. It just feels like it's been 25 chapters and it feels like not a lot has happened. They've just done a few random fights here and then, and that's kind of it.
In that regard, I do have a little bit to say about it because, I mean, I just got up on it like this past week. I read it all the way through. And I like it a lot, but it's because of like a reason you might not think. The early chapters, this is off topic sort of, but it's relevant, trust me.
Yeah.
The early chapters of Bleach are like very ghost huntery, right? Like it's monster of the week, hunt down a hollow, kill it, and that's it. But Ichigo's ultimate goal in Bleach was to find this one hollow that killed his mom, right? Spoilers, by the way, sorry. And that thing just got like directed, like mirrored, like immediately, right? There's that one like
the one Mononoke.
Mononoke, right?
Bridge.
That was on the bridge, killed his mom. He's like, that's the one that killed my mom. He went ballistic, and also he has like the giant sword going from him. Like, dude, I'm just reliving the hype of Bleach all over again. This is great. Give me more. And the best part is like he sorry.
You're good.
The best part is like his thing isn't limited to just a sword either, like it is in Bleach. It turns into so many different things. It's super unique. You got like an Indiana Jones whip like thing. You got like a giant fan for some reason, stuff like that. I want him to like explore and like use that more often, like get different weapons each time. Like I think that'd be really, really unique, and that's the most unique thing about the series. I think you should play more to that.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. Kusanagi's a really strong point in the series,
and it's marketable.
Yeah, it is.
Kusanagi's the
marketable plushie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll continue to watch Doron fight and hopefully not struggle for much longer. But you know, just how it goes in Jump sometimes.
We'll see.
Right. Yeah.
I think definitely this chapter was its make or break. I feel,
Yeah.
and I don't think it broke.
No, not
Or
not
made
at
it.
17.
I did break.
Yeah, I think it broke.
Yeah.
Which is too bad to see, but I think we've got a lot of new promising series coming up. I'm excited for Ruri Dragon next week.
Me too.
Me too.
And yeah, let's dive into some good old Earth Children.
Or I love those Earth Children.
Yeah. So now we're all caught up.
Yeah, I caught up. I didn't write it last week at all.
Yeah, and Bo now loves Earth Children. Let's talk about it. All them little.
Don't take the context.
I realized
Context.
Yeah, it was the last.
I feel like it's almost in the same boat as Doron.
Yeah.
Really good chapter. It's just didn't perform well.
No.
Yeah.
The art was fantastic, though. That one page.
The double page spread was beautiful. But see, this is where like it almost has the Witch Watch syndrome, but it's like not performing well. where it is where it's like it has amazing romance elements, and Jump doesn't have too much romance, so it's not like it's a super competitive scene right now. And the big thing, its advantage is you have a relationship that is already shown, and when you obviously like the first chapter, beautiful, like it immediately hooked people. It did really well, and then you have this one where you really go back and kind of like you have a flashback scene where it's like in their romance, and it's the highlight of the chapter. It's super beautiful. It should focus a lot more on that, but now I feel like it's definitely went in the exact opposite direction. It was like super close. Right. It was like, oh, and then it went. I was like, okay, yeah, we're not getting that.
Yeah.
Also the cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah.
It's a big cliffhanger, and I feel like it's kind of just at that point where it's closing in on its ending a little bit too soon. I think it's like kind of like, oh shit, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I might as well like double down, make it a good ending right here, right now, in case they cancel it, right?
Yeah. See, like I felt like he almost should have I felt like the rescue should have happened if that was the case, right? And then they could wrap it up as it being a happy family. Now it's like gonna be a whole nother like complete like new training arc for Mamoru, and I just don't know how you really turn it around that way.
Yeah.
There's also the chance that they just lose Kareri, which
fuck. I feel like that'd be crazy.
I feel like it would be just weird because what is it?
Is
it chapter 15?
Yeah, it's chapter 15.
Yeah, it's chapter 15, and like the whole last 15 chapters essentially don't matter anymore because the whole training arc that they did ended in failure, and they like literally like their mom's dead, and the whole goal of setting up a family, is like kind of ruined, which might be interesting if they like use it to tell like a really interesting story.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Is that what happened in the chapter? The mom?
No, they did a cliffhanger where
they might not be.
She might die.
Yeah, they might.
Oh, okay. I was like, did she actually die? Like,
or I don't imagine. I don't think she will die. I think it's that they just won't be able to save her now.
Right. Which I feel like that's also weird because it's just like what, she's floating up in space still.
Yeah,
like,
she's just floating. They'll come back later.
Back to square one.
I don't really know. But I feel like I hopefully, and what I'm hoping happens next chapter is he like kind of puts it all on the line and tries to save her. But what got me like all hope is lost is he tries to take a photo and then his phone smashed, and it was like almost like it was almost
that was a really good moment.
Like really cool symbolism, but I'm like, oh fuck, they're like uh-oh.
Bill, you got anything you want to say about Earthchild?
Yeah, so since last week I read through all of it. First chapter was really good. That first chapter went crazy.
Yeah,
so much happened. And I like the series overall. The art's really good. Like that, I mean that one, his backgrounds especially. The author's backgrounds are really
gorgeous.
Good. It feels a little all over the place though. Like one chapter will be really good, one chapter will be just kind of whatever. This chapter was really good, but I don't know. Unlike Doron, I'd be okay with this ending. Like it doesn't feel like it needs to go on much longer.
No, and it's
they just need to save her, and that's the ending. Like it doesn't feel like they. Right. I don't want this to be artificially just lengthened because it's doing. I mean, it's not doing well, but if it was doing well, just end it where they save her. I mean.
Yeah, I feel like that should what it should be, and then if it ends up doing well and it continues on, I feel like there's a lot of options to grow with the other Earthchild. You have a lot of characters now set up.
Yeah.
I feel like it has a lot of open doors that it can go, which is good for it. But also at the same time, I just feel like that's been its struggle, is that I feel like it's just too like this chapter's here, this chapter's there. They don't really. It's not really.
Right. I mean,
it's not a solid flow. It's like kind of really.
Yeah,
rough.
And you're right. I mean, they do have a lot of characters now, but like the main two characters are the only characters I really care about. So once they save Kareri, it's over for me. Like I'm not invested in it. I mean, they need to make me invested. That's the goal. But like, right now once you say it, it's like, okay, they accomplished their mission.
Yeah, no,
also, if she's written out of the story, it's also like, well, that's my favorite character.
That's
like,
what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I want to see it succeed, but I also at the same time, if manga like Aliens area keep coming in and being really strong, but that's the whole thing. I guess it's only first chapter. You can't really judge.
Yeah, no, first chapters always tend to do really, really well, especially for like new series, because people get invested in it and they get interested in what the concept
people are
is. But then
excited.
they slowly dip off most of the time. So you have to watch and see. We'll talk more about it later, but I think like Smartphone, is going to be keeping up that trend.
Stay for a while, I think.
But yeah.
Yeah,
let's talk about Undead Unluck.
You're still the only one caught up on this, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Undead Unluck. really good chapter because we got like this big like little twist. That's the thing I like about Undead Unluck a lot, is that it has a lot of twists and turns that you never really see coming until it's like right in your face. Like, oh shit, this is happening. And that's what I like about this. We got like this new character that we thought was always like, you know what, that's spoilery. I'm not gonna say it. But it's a long existing character that we got a twist for. I'll say that. And I'm really enjoying it. Again, I can't really talk about it too much because again, I'm the only one that's like really caught up on it. Bo, have you started reading it? I think you.
I got to like chapter 40 like half a year ago, so like I'm way behind. I need to get caught up, but
it has a lot of slow moments, but its highs are like really, really up. Like the past like maybe 6 or so chapters have been really, really good. I'm really liking it. But yeah, we won't linger on it too long. Undead Unluck, good read. Guys, get caught up on it soon, please, so I can talk more about it.
Yeah. This will be an interesting one. I'm quite interested to kind of talk about like to rip apart Blue Box here. This is. You're the only one who still doesn't read Blue Box, right, Bo?
I have not read any of it, but you can talk freely. I don't mind too much right now.
Yeah, no, I
know nothing, so
I think like actually when I started getting into Jump, Blue Box was one of the first ones I jumped on, and it was like really like super early, and it's been a really really good romance. And I feel like, and it's also like it's like a sports manga at the same time, and I feel like it's really pushing for the sports, and it almost feels like that's maybe what's helping it, like, or making it slip in the rankings a little. But it's crazy because the art and the sports chapters are really interesting. But
Hina Gang.
I do. While it did focus on the, I think that this is kind of your point. Is like it did focus on like the sports aspect of it.
Yeah.
But the strongest moments of this chapter were for sure seeing the two main girls' thoughts on Taiki.
Yeah. Like that was it was kind of like I guess it was more like almost like a reflective chapter, kind of tell you.
Yeah, like
give
a
you
little
like
bit
a feeling
slower.
of where like, oh, this is kind of like a mini summary of what's happening, and these are how these girls feel.
Yeah.
Because like that's also interesting. I just like I don't know what the direction's gonna be. I really hope, but I'm all Team Chinatsu. I'm like all the way.
Hina
Same.
Gang.
No,
it's like-
Chinatsu's in.
It's Hina. It's all about Hina. Love Hina.
He saw all those chapters that it was meant to sweep him off his feet, and he took the bait. He took the bait.
I definitely took the bait. I ate it up because it was a 5-course meal. Okay, it was delicious. I love Hina.
I don't know if packing peanuts are a 5-course meal, but yeah.
Hey.
They got you with.
I will fight you.
Look, she's a little bit better than packing peanuts.
They said, "Do you want to do it?" And Key was like, "Oh, she's the best."
No, that's not it. Look, I'm on Team Hina from chapter 1. Okay, from chapter 1.
No way you're saying that. There's
I
no
was,
way you
dude.
were
I
riding the
absolutely
Hina
was.
train.
I was
No,
always on.
I don't believe that. Hina was so dog shit at the start.
Nah. I was thinking that
Okay.
I was rooting for
You're
the beginning
capping.
for us too. I'm not capping. No cap. No cap. Hina is best girl. Okay. All right.
No.
All right. Leave me
I
alone.
do think saying Hina now is a valid opinion. But if you're saying Hina back then, like 40 chapters ago, you're smoking something.
Look, it's a weakness of mine, okay, to go after like the slightly underrated girl because I have a feeling that later on she's gonna get built up, and I was right. Okay, I was right.
Wait till the chapter where Chinatsu rolls up like a basketball and dunks on it.
I'll still be Team Hina. It's like, it's okay, you tried your best.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting. I'm surprised to see it so low, but I think it's got such a solid basis with already like 55 good chapters behind it. I think it's not to worry seeing it this low. It's just I think it was last week that it was also so low.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of crazy. I just feel like we don't see it. Yeah, no, it's a couple weeks ago it was quite low, but it's crazy to just see it just dip a little bit.
I think it's building up to something, and Blue Box usually does have like a couple chapters in between, like I guess arcs is what you'd call it, but where it is kind of slow and it does kind of slip in ranks. But I'm sure
I think it'll be fine. It'll pull through.
I can't remember exactly what Chinatsu said at the end, but whatever she said made me feel like it's building up to something big that'll be really important.
I think she said something along the lines of, "It's not like we were strangers before," or something.
Yeah.
Oh right, I feel it made me excited to go more into her maybe how she felt back then, because we have Taiki's side on that where he fell in
Yeah.
love with her going to practice every morning,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we've never seen her side of that before.
Yeah, it's also I do like that they don't really pull the we don't know if she likes her or not. We know that
Yeah.
both of them
Yeah.
like him, and that like when it's a romance manga, we shouldn't be having those kind of questions. Like it should just be like, okay, let's wait for them to confess. Like I feel like that's how they should be, but obviously that's not every single romance manga. But yeah, that's Blue Box. Key, you want to pick us up again with Roboco?
Roboco. I have so much to say about this chapter because it's great. The thing about Roboco is like it gives us this like window, all right, of like how Jump operates, and that's why I didn't really feel the need to rush into Bakuman because there's chapters, like whole dedicated chapters. There's even characters dedicated to like people that actually work at Jump, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And so you'll see characters like show up and be like, "Oh my gosh, was that Oda Sensei?" And it's just like, "Oh my god, that's so funny." This chapter is so relevant because, and I hope you guys don't mind me spoiling because it's not really a story spoiler thing because there's not really much of an
like
ongoing story. Yeah, in this chapter, I kid you not, it's a cosplay chapter.
Yeah,
and
just
they
read the name
cosplay.
cosplay in Roboco.
Yeah, they cosplay the characters from Hunter x Hunter.
That's so cool.
Straight
That's
up.
awesome.
It's funny because they like say all want to be Gon, right? And then they say, okay, let's sort it out. So we do like different characters from the group. Then they all show up as Gon. I'm just like, this is fucking hilarious because Roboco shows up as Gon. Spoilers, never mind. And then they all come as Kurapika the next day, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's just a great time. I'm just like, oh wow, this really is my cue to like read Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, it's like it's really like from what I felt from just reading it. It's like very like lots of parody gags, and I think that's where it kind of like literally you look at the volume covers and it's parodying all the other manga.
They reference that new volume cover too in that chapter.
The Oshinoko one, yeah.
Yeah, they do. It's like, oh, I thought this was Oshinoko, but I'm just not sure about it. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I do want to read Roboco. Like I think that's up next to that after Yozakura Family, or in between. I don't know how I'll do
You
that,
do.
but...
You really need to read it, especially Gintama fan over here.
Yeah.
So PPPPPP.
I think it had a great chapter this week. I saw someone on I forget the Twitter handle, but I don't see people talk about PPPP a lot, but I saw someone say it was their like top 3 chapter for the week.
Yes, I know it's one of the shonen accounts. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They were ranking it along with Akane-Banashi, like up there.
Yeah,
like,
they put they said it was like along the lines of One Piece and Akane-Banashi this week.
I don't read it. They introduced a new sibling, right? This chapter.
They introduced him last chapter, and then
like
we were like,
developed.
We're getting his development, and the siblings in the past, they're like obviously antagonistic forces, but it kind of just seemed like they're misled. So you could just feel like, oh, they're good at heart, but they just have some work to do. But this guy just seems like straight up like not good. There's no fixing him. He's just an asshole. So it's like interesting to see how that'll play out, I think.
For sure. Yeah, no, this one I also really want to jump on. That's also super short still. Like it's only 35 chapters. That's not a whole lot.
It's really good too.
Yeah.
I mean, I got caught up on it like this week, so it's a good read.
Absolutely.
Art's really impressive. I don't know if I'm too hooked on any of the characters yet. But I just like the art a lot. I like the visualizing of the different music. It kind of sucks because I feel like when they're actually playing the piano, I wish they'd talk about the piece he's playing a little bit more. Like, I don't know if anyone here has seen Your Lie in April, but like that happens a lot in that anime, and I just wish it'd be a little bit more like that. That's just wishful thinking, but I just kind of want to know more about like what's everyone thinking about the music wise,
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I think that is like you said, wishful thinking, just because it really seems like the mangaka doesn't really like to focus on the music a whole bunch,
which is weird for a music manga, but
it's so much more focused on the characters, and you can even see that where they very rarely talk about music theory. I think they've talked about like the making of one of the songs once in the whole manga so far.
Yeah.
And the only thing most of the time whenever they talk about the music, it's usually saying whenever the player plays the music, they do this, and then
Yeah.
it affects the audience this way. So very rarely are they saying the music piece affects anything. It's usually the player makes it.
Right, and I want to talk to you about this, Trent. When they it was something that caught me off guard and made me think. Do you think all the stuff that's like happening, like the people appearing or like the imagery on
almost.
like, do you think that's actually happening? Because I saw in this one panel that they said like they saw it on TV, like the trees sprouting up. I'm like, does that mean that it's actually happening, or is that mean like everyone's just hallucinating even through the TV?
Yeah, it's just something that they experience when they listen to the music.
Okay.
I think they said it at some point where Lucky, which is the main character, it's like at the start of the manga when he wasn't as good as he is now at expressing himself through his music, but he wasn't playing strong enough. So people that didn't know music very well couldn't see the hallucinations because they couldn't read deeper into it. Right. But then all of the music professors could hear or could see his hallucination that he was making. So
yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it's almost like a Demon Slayer where apparently the sword, like all the water breathing techniques aren't visual, like that's just visuals. It's not actually real.
Yeah. All right. Good to know. I guess I just need to like pay more attention.
Yeah. Mashle.
Tell us about it.
I'm not stepping on your toes. You guys are good with PPP?
I think I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, Mashle. I'll just quickly talk about this week's chapter. I'm not going to spoil it. But they're kind of really stepping into the final arc, and Mashle early on builds up the Divine Visionaries, and they don't show them too much throughout the series. They show a couple of them. They are really stepping into play here. Obviously, in this final arc, you want to have your strong fighters come in, and wow, like Mashle really flexes muscles with art and a couple of good gags. Like it just like Mashle was like, watch what I'm gonna do this chapter. I'm gonna do a little bit of everything I'm good at, and it did it well. Like I'm really excited for this final arc because if this is what's given me just a little taste of it, and this is what it's like, I'm very excited. Mashle has a really good mix of comedy and amazing action. We're already faced up to see, like, I feel like we're going to get a really good fight right off the bat with some cool action panels. I love Mashle so much because it's so over the top all the time. And when you have over the top and then you put over the top in fights, just everyone is insanely powerful. They don't really, like, it's not, like, it doesn't take itself so seriously where it's like, oh, this power system isn't right. No, it doesn't matter. Everyone's just super powerful. It's really enjoyable to just kind of be like balls to the wall shonen, just going nuts. And it's like because of the way Mashle's set up, you don't even really like think twice about it. I'm excited to see this final arc. But Key, you just started Mashle. If you want to deliver your thoughts on the first few chapters here.
Yeah, I'm up to like chapter 21 or 22 right now. Mashle is a great ride. It gives you that same sort of thrill that One Punch Man does, and I've already compared it to One Punch Man, and it feels like a parody on Harry Potter at the same time, which is a weird mix if you say it out loud, but honestly, it just works. It's a great story, great setup. I think that Mashle is honestly just like the most iconic thing that I've ever seen in Shonen Jump in a really long time. Just because of like him being like so not main character, but at the same time flexing in the most literal sense on everyone.
And he also
and everything
has, like,
around him.
One of my favorite things about Mashle is its facial expressions. Like they're not like it's like kind of like they're not super detailed because I think like funny facial expressions in manga are like the one that are like overly detailed. But it's like this one's just like super dull, like empty faces, and it's enjoyable. I love Mashle for its facial expressions.
I can just make so many reaction pictures of just Mashle.
Like Mash, like his reaction to almost anything people say to him is like superb. Like they'll be like they'll do this
like,
whole monologue, and he'll be like eating a fucking cream puff, and he'll just like staring into space.
Okay, just fucking rock their shit.
Yeah.
It's great. Read it, guys. It's great.
Then.
Yeah.
Is that all for Mashle?
I think let's go for Mashle. Let's get into Trent's favorite manga.
I wanted to get into Witch Watch because
Let's talk about
It's
this one.
the first good gag manga chapter ever.
This was such a funny chapter.
It was a really funny chapter.
I was gutting myself. Like, this was hilarious.
Well, you got yourself on the shitty gag manga chapters too, though, so that doesn't really mean much.
Dude, no, it was really, really, really funny. Like, holy smokes. What a good chapter.
It didn't have anything to do with magic. It was awesome.
Yeah, no.
I think it really drilled into what it's good at, which is its characters.
Yeah.
Took full advantage of just having really well written characters, and it didn't try to do like zany magic tricks with them.
One thing again I've noticed is I think they're trying to phase out Miharu, the vampire kid, because again another chapter he does not.
He just comes into the end
once. like that. I was just like, that's it. But man, what a funny chapter.
Also, Morihito's like punchline almost at the end of it was like the perfect culmination of it, where he's like almost like trying to be like the hipster almost, where he's like, oh, I'm not like the popular people. I like bubbles in my marbles.
Yeah. Like,
it's just stupid.
Like, it's so stupid. Basically, for those who do or do not read, maybe this will be a selling point. Witch Watch did a chapter this week where a main character, one of the characters was like, oh, like, you're really good at selling things. Like, you should try to sell this character this marble. And he tries to sell it to this hipster character. And he ends up making a video about marbles and like, oh, like this one's so rare and special because it's got no bubbles in it and just the dumbest shit. Well, it catches on, it creates this huge trend, like this whole, like, it takes over TikTok, YouTube, everything, Instagram, and creates this whole trend. And they like, the whole gag is that they're fucking stupid.
I think my favorite line in it was someone said social media is modern magic.
Yeah, it's like Witch Watch. There was a really funny Witch Watch chapter, and I ruined it by trying to explain it.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, it's it's definitely, it shows like Witch Watch can have some really good highs in it as well, for just like its random gags. That was it was a fun one. And yeah, Trent, you want to kick us off with High School Family Kokosei?
Why would I do that? I haven't read this.
I just wanted to see maybe you were willing.
Also, I do want to just apologize on behalf of Bo. Like, I feel like he hasn't said anything in a little bit.
No, I was thinking that like the middle of the magazine, I haven't read any of this stuff. I'm just chilling. I'm listening. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I'm sorry, man, because you haven't been able to say anything. I'm just like, oh man, Bo, I'm so sorry.
I was just rereading Super Smartphone because I forgot what happened. Don't worry about it.
High School Family Kokosei, I was very, very impressed by. It has some awesome gags in it, like stuff that I didn't expect, but also it's super enjoyable. One of my favorite, obviously one of the funniest things is imagine you're in high school and you go to a volleyball tournament, and the opposing team has a 40-year-old man on the team. like that is the craziest shit ever. And it's just like, it's super enjoyable. It has good gags, and it's actually building up to have some interesting romances, but it doesn't force it down your throat too often. And it's just like, it's nice subtleties. You have a really solid cast of characters, and that's what this chapter was for. The whole class did a volleyball game, so you get to kind of really see everyone's quirks in action, and characters who never, like, there's the shogi players that never interacted with the volleyball team, and so they did in this chapter, and that was really fun. And it's just like, you've built up like a really fun cast of characters. Everyone, because you have 5 main characters, and they all have like essentially their own friend groups, and so to see them kind of intertwine was really cool. It's got a really solid cast of characters.
I can't get the Joy-Con to fit.
The Joy-Con stash is not happening. But yeah, no, Kokosei is a really fun gag manga, definitely worth your time. It's like just a nice light read. Like, if you're ever just like, there's not a need to be super dedicated to it. Like, you can just go one chapter at a time and kind of go through it. It did have a really cool, like, it was like 10 chapter long volleyball arc, which was super enjoyable. But yeah, that was High School Family Kokosei this week.
I do want to say one thing, is that the only thing that stopped me from like getting into it like right away is just because there's already a lot of gag manga that I'm currently reading. Like, Mashle already is like having me gutting, and then Roboco just kind of like comes in with like a second hit. And if I suffer a third hit that week, then I'm just gonna fucking die.
Dude, no, it's
goodbye, Trent.
He'll be back. Keep talking. Don't worry about it.
He'll be back.
There he is.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. Kokosei, which I like about the gag manga and Jump, is they all have like a different style of telling jokes. Shogumaru tells the same jokes 100 times over. Witch Watch is either like this super intricate, over-explainy joke, either it hits or it doesn't. And then High School Family Kokosei is this like obviously super bizarre setting where it's like really just like throws you off its feet. Mashle's got a very like reaction type, lots of bouncing off the straight man kind of humor as well. Mashle's just also like really like what like just extremities, which is fun. So they all have different types of humor, and it's not like it doesn't feel like you're being introduced to the same joke over and over, which is nice, especially when there's like I think about 5 or 6 series that handle a decent amount of jokes. So yeah.
I think also the concept of High School Family Kokosei would be super easy to just play the same joke every time. It's like, Dad, why are you at school? And if that was the same joke every chapter, I think I'd kill myself.
they bring the joke back by having the dad have his dad come.
Father, when can I go out and be on my own?
I forgot about Pinocchio.
That came out in theaters. Oh my god, I think that's out now.
In theaters?
That
wasn't straight to DVD?
I thought that was like a straight to DVD thing.
I thought it was too.
I think it was like in select theaters the same weekend as Morb Sweep. But anyway,
that's
it's
awesome.
Sweep.
Morbius. Everyone was watching Morbius. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Sweep.
Shogumaru sweeping. Shogumaru sweeping.
Shogumaru sweep. Yeah.
Shogu sweep over.
Shogu sweep is over. But yeah, super smartphone. Let's dive into this.
Bo, you go first.
Yeah,
I want Bo to talk about
all
first.
Those words out of your mouth.
Okay. Yeah, I've been quiet. Yeah, it's funny because like. Literally looking at the rankings, like that entire like the middling series, I just have not even touched. I started PPP like back when it started, so I need to get caught up on that. But this chapter was okay for Super Smartphone. It's kind of like half the chapter is introducing the other smartphone user Zenichiro, and then it's the second half is Q kind of realizing like, oh, he's gonna be able to find me. Because they're showing like when he like does like a school search, like it literally just removes his name, which is really sus. So obviously that's gonna come into play. This Zenichiro is a weird character. I don't know if I like what's going on here.
No,
he wants to emasculate people and dominate. Wait, what? What's going on at the end there?
It's like
this was an interesting one. He seems like a villain that will come and go really quickly, so it doesn't like which will be like I think it'll be fun where they'll have like a long enough of an arc where they'll battle back and forth, but there's obviously more smartphone users and he's not the end. He'll just be like kind of like the first like.
Yes, except I just know for a fact that whenever this comes, if this ends up being an anime one day, he's gonna be the next Gojo. Like this villain is gonna just be like the attention of every female. I swear to God, just because he says the word dominate.
Yeah, dude,
he's going to get everyone. Everyone's gonna be creaming their pants, dude. Especially what if they got like Dio's voice actor to say it too? Like that would just be seal the deal.
Dami daddy.
But yeah, I mean, like Aiden said, this is just a setup chapter, so it kind of like the first 4 chapters are really strong, and then this one I feel like it's just it's fine.
We ended also an arc last week, so I feel like we're starting a new arc this week. So just definitely
setting up the actual
introducing
arc. The first 4 chapters is an arc. Yeah. The introduction of the smartphone.
Yeah, and introducing a new ability on the smartphone, like the whole like. Protection thing. I like that. Like they talked about its flaws immediately, but it would have been almost interesting. Yeah. More interesting.
Incognito mode has been revealed.
I think we'll see a lot of like. I feel like an issue that'll come up will be someone thinks that if they use it, they're safe, and that'll obviously be their flaw. And
that was
kind of what it was showing.
That was my immediate takeaway. They showed like when he takes a picture, like it automatically erases him from the picture. Somehow, not sure how that works, but I can already imagine though. There's gonna be a scene where like there's surveillance cameras and he thinks he's safe, but then like the villain's right there watching it anyway. Yeah. So he's gonna be able to like compare like what he remembers seeing versus the footage and be like, okay, so he wasn't in the footage. That's him. They're basically just setting up how Q's gonna get screwed over. In this chapter.
Basically, right? Like that actually makes for some really good like setups too. Like you have to like keep yourself hidden as a smartphone user.
The security stuff almost works against them more than anything.
Platinum Man with the angels and stuff. Like I think that's so.
Yeah.
Shit, you just opened my eyes to that whole thing. Like,
I'm sorry.
Crazy.
That'll be an interesting one. I think it's got some cool setup for where it's gonna go forward.
Yeah,
we're rooting for you, man. We're rooting for a smartphone.
I think something that I hope this arc does is this chapter I think was setting up almost like the rules for the next fight
Yeah.
or like fight. But so I'm excited to see if as we read it, we're able to like almost play along in the game.
For sure.
I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't really give us too many answers, like clear answers, and
Right.
lets us kind of like
Kinda
really
like-
guess as we go on. That'll be fun.
Kind of like what I was saying last week, where I hope the main character just isn't right about everything. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope he just doesn't give us the answers.
Also, really random thing to point out from the chapter, but the panel where he's laying on the slide and like
Dude.
on his neck, and there's the little subnote that says, "Do not sit like this." Like, I thought that was hilarious. I was gutting myself with that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about young man who is good at running away.
Yeah.
I love the translation for that on this website.
Also, okay, random thing. This is more for the podcast, but also if you go up to the top right of the page, you can click and there's an English version. I didn't know this.
Oh, there is. I never noticed that.
Yeah, so we can get actual
Okay.
translations.
I like the other name.
Last episode,
I like young man who is good at running away.
Last episode, you guys said young man who's running away, and I'm on the English version. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
That's funny.
Yeah. Elusive Samurai. That last chapter was excellent. So this chapter was just kind of following up on it. And what a cool like little fight.
Yeah, I'm glad that they brought him back, dude. I won't.
Yeah,
He's
he's
died.
one of the best villains.
Wait, are you caught up on it too, Trent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
am
for
not
some reason, I
caught
thought
up.
that
If
was just
spoilers are
me.
happening, I'm gonna. Am I dipping for spoilers?
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead,
would
okay.
dip.
I'm
That's
dipping.
okay.
Spoilers.
I'm
All right.
dipping.
All right, cool. Yeah, that guy with the spear. Don't remember his name exactly. 'Cause, again, I'm bad with names. Everybody has really long names in this
They
manga.
do. I can't. I don't
Yeah,
know any
it's-
names in this.
This is like a struggle where you have like there's such a huge cast, and then it's all like feudal Japanese names. Like, bro, I'm not gonna remember Yoshikuni Dono and Sasasuge Dono and
I memorized the main
Shigedono.
character's name.
Okay,
But it's
Okay.
his fake
even
name.
barely.
It's his fake name though.
Yeah.
It's Shogumaru, right?
Yeah,
and then-
Shogumaru.
No, Shogumaru. Shogumaru. But yeah, that fight was just great. I love that he's learning attacks that are like unique to him because he is the elusive samurai, all about running away. I'm glad that they're doing that like unique approach to it where he's like running away while fighting. Like, the Hand of Buddha one was great, like the first one he learned. But this
That one was
next
insane.
one, like the Two Fang, I wasn't as impressed by it, but I thought it was still really, really cool and unique.
I think it'll be fun to continue to see how he fights in really roundabout ways, apart from normal, just like direct head-on fighting. I think it's interesting. It's a cool concept. I feel like it might struggle later on, but I think it'll be super cool to kind of just see how it goes with it. Because he's an experienced mangaka. He has like a major hit, like it's a mega hit already. So
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about like, sorry, Trent, go ahead.
I was just saying, it also reminds me, the mangaka seems to like these unorthodox like fighting type characters.
Yeah.
Like the assassination classroom dude, his whole thing was like he could hide his malice.
Yeah.
So like he could just like walk up straight up to someone and just like stab them right in front of their
Yeah,
face.
hide his presence or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of that, where they fight unlike anyone else in their business.
That and he
almost.
looks like a girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the main character looks like
And they look like a girl.
And also you have the line, "You have the heart of my nostril." That was one of my highlights of this week.
That's great.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome line.
You have the heart of my nostril. I was like, will you stop picking your nose? Yes, you have the heart of my nostril now. Okay.
But one last thing before like we move on. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say about it, but I'm thinking about way into the future here, obviously, when I say this, but I think it's going to be such a crazy moment when... Sorry, Bo.
Are you still going, Key?
Yeah, I was still going. I'm sorry.
Wait, no, I'm here. I turned it on too early.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say one more thing. That was just one more thing. When he gets that point, I feel like when we get to that final fight, he's not going to be able to fight in the ways that he's doing right now. He's going to have to like really face his fears of running away and actually like fight for real. And I'm looking forward to that. Like that's going to be a groundbreaking moment. He's no longer going to be the elusive samurai. It's going to be the boy who does not run away.
Or he does the best running away ever.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever. But
Yeah.
like I'm just looking forward to it.
I think for how hype he made this one, where he like the move he did in the last chapter was just so awesome. So I think we're set up for some good stuff.
setting up minor villains along the way and keeping the final boss like so far down the line. That's what I need for a good long
But
series.
also an encounter with him, like it keeps him engaged in the story.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole arc
exactly.
is amazing.
That whole setup was so awesome.
So good. But let's bring Bo back.
Yeah, let's
Sorry,
get Bo back in.
Really, yeah. Come on. But yeah.
Sorry, Bo.
Before,
I
I saw you typing, so I was like, oh, I'm good. Before we move on from Elusive Samurai, I started reading this. I just want to say my only takeaway so far. I like Tokiyuki, he's fine. I am so bad at character names.
No, we were talking about that.
Really?
It's
I cannot remember what's the other like main like adults that's what is that? It's like,
no idea.
I call him
Yorishige. Is that it?
Yoshikun. I can't remember. He's the god.
I just read it last night. Yeah, he's the god, dude. I am so bad at memorizing names. I'm only 10 chapters in and it's already like
it only gets
getting
way worse.
It gets way worse. They introduced so many characters.
Yeah, they introduced but we were saying it's because it's like the feudal era thing where they all have like really long Yoshikune, Shige Dono, whatever the hell their name is.
Yeah, exactly.
Jugum.
Hey, at least it's authentic.
Keeping it real. They're for real. Yeah.
I think it's already hard enough for us to like remember like Japanese characters' names, let alone like a few Japanese names. Yeah. So that was Elusive Samurai. Akane-Banashi. Let's
really awesome chapter.
This is gonna be such a good arc. Like I'm really excited to see her Jugum. Like,
I cannot wait. That's what I'm waiting for.
The one dude they introduced today reminded me like visually of Hiromaru.
I was hoping you would bring it up because
absolutely, dude.
I saw him and I was instantly like, otter number 11, no way.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I think it'll also be funny because like my whole mentality, and I hope that was kind of the mentality that he was trying to make us have, was that like, oh, they have all these people who are like profound voice actors, and that was funny because they set it up as like the chapter made it feel like, oh, you're meeting all these characters for the first time, and it's almost like you're having the same reaction as the audience, like the actual live audience. It's like, oh, it's gonna be the voice actors who are gonna take it, all these famous celebrities, but we all know deep down that it's gonna be the really well experienced Roboco artist that'll really take the show.
Yeah.
But I think also the whole element of these famous people showing up and like other talented people outside of Roboco showing up will make this interesting. I think this will be. It's crazy because I feel like Arakawa was set up to be like the final boss, and now we're having an encounter right now. So I'm very interested. I always forget that it's only 16 chapters in. Like I feel like we have so much more stuff behind it. Like there's a lot of content in these 16 chapters, but I'm excited for Akane-Banashi to keep going. Something
else was when they're like building up this tournament arc. We didn't know anything about other competitors, so I was still excited for it because I wanted to see Akane. Like it's so really well written. So like, despite not knowing the other competitors, I was still really excited. But now knowing kind of what she's up against, it just makes me excited to see how she can show off her talent.
Yeah.
Compared to these people that are talented as well.
Yeah.
Especially because the way they introduced the tournament was like she might be going up against like more amateur people. So. Seeing some real big talent going up against her makes me really excited.
Yeah, this will be a really fun arc. I'm
tournament arc.
I don't think actually it'll be too long because they already have her taking stage, so I think it'll. I don't think it'll be too long.
No, the story just keeps rolling.
Yeah, it's going fast, and I think that's a huge part of why it's doing so well. And it is doing.
I want to talk about that.
Excellent right now. Unless you guys don't have anything to say about the new chapter, I kind of want to just talk about Akane-Banashi in general.
A success.
Yeah, it is. It seems to be like
I think
a
it's
mega hit
sweeping
already. Like it is.
Yeah.
Volume 1 came out in Japan, right?
Yeah.
And it's blowing up. Dude. It's
number
6. That's crazy.
There was a picture that someone posted. It was like, oh, I think Akane-Banashi's doing well, and it's like, you know how Japan like has all the manga laid on a table, and it's like a huge tower stack. It was like a hole. It was dug deep into a hole. Like you'd have to reach all the way down to grab it, because that meant it's just like it's flying off the shelf. Like it's doing really
awesome.
Really well. So it's super exciting to see.
It's secured.
Yeah,
it is not going anywhere.
I also definitely think it secured its place in the magazine like safely when Oda said, "I love this manga," and that was like, I think that's like the highest recommendation. We talked about this last week, but that's like the highest recommendation you can have. I think it's in a safe zone for a long time.
No, it's gonna be safe for a good while for sure, especially if I was recommending it. But I kind of want to talk about Akane like in general, like the main character, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is how you write a female protagonist without making them a female protagonist. You make them a good protagonist who just happens to be female, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something the Western media gets completely wrong all the time. Like, look
I
at
think
Star
also
Wars
Japan
and stuff.
gets it wrong as well. Like,
Yeah, no, they
a
do.
lot,
They do,
yeah.
totally. But this character just has so much, like, a spunk and attitude
Yeah,
and just
it's
has
good,
all
yeah.
this, like, this energy that I just really, really like. And that's, if the main character can hook you on a series, then that's already going to tell you
Yeah.
what kind of manga this is going to be, right? And that's why I'm going to keep on enjoying it. It's still not my favorite thing in the magazine. I'll say that. But, you know, I'm happy with it. It's good. It's going to sit
Yeah.
right there, close to the top, where Yashimon should have been. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Let's keep going.
I'm very excited for this one to get a physical print. I actually almost want to order the volume from Japan just because the art is so beautiful.
The art is so good. Her design is awesome.
Her design, the character design, the colors,
color page is weak
the
also. Yeah, the
colors
color
on
page is so
volumes,
good.
Oh, color. This is where I made this complaint before, but I was like, man, like I really wish our physical print got actual colored color pages, because color pages look so damn good, especially when a manga artist puts like their foot in. Elusive Samurai is another series with some of the most beautiful color pages.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I always get surprised when I'm just like flipping and it's like, oh wow, look at that.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about. Are we good to move on from Akane?
Think so.
Any other words
Think
for Akane? Yeah, Yozakura. Trent, let's talk a little bit about that.
No, I've been reading it the past 3-4 days, and it really surprised me because on the Shonen Jump app, the description is like romance, an overprotective brother, and then something else, which I really hate the trope of like creepy overprotective brother. And the way the main art is set up, it makes you think that like the main character is the creepy overprotective brother. And like
Yeah,
when this started, like what is it, maybe 2 years ago, a little bit more. That was around the time that I was starting reading Shonen Jump, so I was kind of still deciding on what I was going to keep up with, and just the description immediately.
Goodbye, Trent.
uh-oh.
He's gone.
I'll talk about my experience with Yozakura.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, no. So I did the first 3 chapters last night. And obviously I've been focused on Hunter x Hunter, so I was like, I'll take a break for Hunter x Hunter from a little bit, because I've already got to a point where I'm like really satisfied right now. So I'll just keep going. But yeah, no, Yozakura was very interesting. I have a lot of push and pull emotions with it, where I've liked a lot of parts, where I've also don't like a lot of parts. Trent started by talking about the overprotective older brother, and I think Trent was gonna say a very similar thing, where it was like, when I first read it, I thought the whole thing was it's like romance, action, and it was action, romance, and then an overprotective brother, and I was like, romance with an overprotective brother? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck
But there's
that
action.
shit. No, get the fuck away from me. I'm not brother shit. No way. But no, that is the poorest choice of wording on Viz's part. I'm gonna
Exactly
send
where I was
them a
going with it.
very angry email. Why is it worded like this? This is such a bad push. But to the same point. So basically, the basic premise is that there is a male and a female character who are not related, because the way it makes it seem is that
they're not related.
They're not related. And
Perfectly normal
yeah,
relationship.
they are friends. They are friends. And then more. I feel like kind of like the big reveal in chapter 1 is interesting enough that like it should be kind of kept a secret. It's kind of like, I feel like it's a good enough like, oh shit, that's cool. But the older overprotective brother is my least favorite part about Yozakura family. Like,
That's
Fair.
that's something I wanted to say. Is you said you're 3 chapters in,
3 chapters in, yeah.
so I'm 30 chapters in, and they've had way more time to establish the cast, and the overprotective older brother, I forget his name, but like Yozakura's action is actually really well done, and the older brother character is actually he's like a badass. So
Yeah.
like he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
And he's a creep on the side. And something Yozakura family's done for me is it takes a lot of these character tropes that I historically don't like at all. Like, I don't like Yuri from Spy Family, which is like the same brother trope. Don't like him. But he has a lot of moments where his like really stoic action sequences paired with his like whole weirdo complex thing is just super juxtaposed, and it's like it creates some like really funny moments. And then they also have another character that you haven't met yet, where it takes this like stalkery, like obsessive character, which is another character trope, like in Komi-san, the one girl
Yeah.
that's like obsessed with Komi and like kidnaps the main dude.
Yeah.
I really don't like her.
I completely
but
forgot that happened. It's like the most crazy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But Yozakura family has like the same character, and like they just make her way funnier.
Yeah.
And it's like the first time I'm seeing these tropes done really well.
That's
It like
good.
makes me kind of like respect the series a lot more than I would have, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah, no, so like obviously it's only 3 chapters, so it's really hard to make like a really base decision. But the overprotected brother is my least favorite thing, just of how like
Right.
he's handled. I also just don't like the trope. But that makes me really happy to hear that like it like he's actually enjoyable. Obviously 3 chapters is hard to make a judgment. But I like the premise. I like the premise way more than I thought it did. Chapter 3 does a great job of showing off the cast of characters, the Yozakura family. And I was like, damn, this is awesome. Like, I think this has like a lot of potential here. Like, I'm excited to keep reading. But I'm reading chapter 3 like 4 in the morning, so I was like, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I was trying to juggle it with Rhythm Heaven, and I was like, oh, I love both of these things. I gotta choose one.
Yeah, no, but it was. I'm impressed. It was actually genuinely quite solid. The romance is great.
Right.
Like I also like.
They just had a moment for me that was really good, and actually the moment wasn't ruined, but it was like interrupted by the overprotective brother actually making a really funny joke, and then he got his shit rocked by someone else, just absolutely punching the fuck out of him afterwards. It was hilarious.
I'm definitely gonna push through it and get way further for next week. Probably definitely not caught up. 130 chapters, a lot, but no, I'm excited to definitely have this series and Jump. But 5 is interesting because we talked about it that it like it wavers. We obviously aren't caught up, so we don't know what it's doing for it to be.
And I hear absolutely like nobody talk about this series. Like
apparently,
first time I saw about it, first thing I heard about it was the dude in our comments.
Yeah, I've heard whispers that it is actually got a pretty solid fan base. Like that and Undead Unluck, which is interesting, have like pretty solid, quiet fan bases, which is interesting. Yeah.
Shout out Menzel.
Let's jump into Sakamoto. Get your headphones off, boys. We got a fun chapter about talking about. Okay, man, what a cool chapter.
Yeah,
what an awesome.
I think
chapter.
it also solved our worries from last chapter, which was the people getting kidnapped.
Yeah, they were. So they're
like,
just
that was really cool.
Okay, so they're just like trying to force them in, and they're probably just gonna say no, which will be cool. I think we'll get some more fun. Like I think it was a smart thing to do because you're coming off an arc, but I think there'll be more fights to come right away, away. Also, you get to see more of the organization. I can't remember what they're fucking called now. Organization X. What are they called again? Our antagonists.
I know the dude's named Slur.
Yeah, his group. We get to see a lot more of like his group and his people because it was pretty much just him and the deer guy, and then obviously our guy who was driving the VR for a while.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I don't know why my brain didn't obviously make the connection. The filmmakers in the same group. Then you have you have a masochist.
Well, I think that was the twist of last chapter was that the filmmaker.
Oh yeah. The masochist, and then you've got the one girl. I can't remember what her thing was.
The girl was the masochist.
No, there was another one.
There's like Chili Pepper or something.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Oh, it was California Reaper. That's
Yeah. So that was. I think they were interesting. I'm excited to see kind of what happens on that part.
And
then we finally got to see the other members of JCC again, which was super exciting because we hadn't seen them in a while.
Both. Yeah, and we also the sniper and the alcoholic chick.
Yeah. Finally,
we got to see a lot of characters that we don't get to see a whole lot.
Yeah, and the 3 from the JCC, I can't fucking names are tough with
the Order.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, the 3 of them, the girl with the saw and everybody.
Right.
Their whole lottery bit was funny. I like that. They've got. I constantly forget how good chemistry they have. She's such an awesome character. I love her.
Yeah.
That group is fun. I like that a lot. He's like the dude was like, oh, like, I love this where it's like, oh, I'm gonna win big this time, and they're like, dude, you make this joke. How many times are you gonna make that same joke? And I thought that joke, him calling out his joke, was even like way funnier than it should have been, because I was like, I worked at a store and I've heard people say that a billion times, so I just thought.
I used to work at Walmart, and you hear the same shit every fucking time.
Like, oh, is this gonna be the one? Like hilarious. And then yeah, the ending of the chapter with Shin.
Shin getting first.
Shin getting first
in the exam, and then Sakamoto failing.
Like, I felt like that's really I felt like that just like was such a guarantee that propelled Shin's character so much further. Like it's not that it was just like he beat Sakamoto. No, he beat everyone, which is so awesome. I absolutely love Shin.
Yeah.
So like he's one of my favorite characters in Jump right now. Like he's such a fun character.
Him and Akane are really pulling the magazine for me right now.
Like I absolutely love Shin, and I feel like Shin. Because he's a side character. He's not really truly the main character. But I feel like he's gonna. He's hit a point. Like
he's merging into that main character slot. With
I feel
Sakamoto.
like there will be a portion where like something will happen to Sakamoto, and I think Shin will be the main driving force, and also be able to see Sniper Guy again, and our drunk girl. That's fun. I'm glad to be back with that cast again. And I'm looking forward to the new arc. Because Sakamoto Days is just so solid. It deserves its high rank. It is really good. I really love Sakamoto
I'm just waiting for the anime. When the anime comes out, I'm eating.
Yeah, no, I'm super stoked for Sakamoto. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bathroom break, and you guys are gonna talk about My Hero.
All right. Good to come back.
It's My Hero next, so I mean, I can't.
I'm taking a bathroom break.
All right,
My Hero time.
It's My Hero time. It's your time, Bo.
Let's go, Bo.
All right, can you get out of here? Trent, how you feeling about this chapter? It was pretty good.
I think it's more of what this arc has been, which is just action upon action, more action.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing Endeavor just being sad. And I feel like they're setting it up that he's gonna sacrifice himself or something, but I want to see him stop being a baby. I get it, but oh my god.
I'm excited to see how this fight ends up, because the final moment with Hawks using Jiro's attack to like amplify his own was like a really satisfying
that was awesome
hit, and it's kind of harkens back to what we were talking about last week, where we hoped that the class A students, even though it wasn't the whole class, but Jiro and Tokoyami were able to help deal that final blow. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe not final blow.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looked like one, but
it was a really cool shot. I'm glad that Jiro. I mean, I don't know if you noticed. So I mean, last week we were talking about if I think it was Endeavor, he got like really hit, and we were like, I was like, oh, did he lose his arm? He didn't lose an arm. However, it definitely looks that like Jiro popped an eardrum. So
yeah,
her career might be over if her ear jacks aren't working. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just more fighting. It's good. I'm glad that Jiro of all characters, I'm probably saying her name wrong. I'm glad she of all characters like got something happening. I was not expecting that.
We don't get to see a lot of the other characters, and I think that's something that puts My Hero down on my list, or lower on my list than it would have been otherwise. Is we don't get a lot to see of the side characters as much as I would hope.
Especially like early in the series that wasn't the case, but as it kind of went on, they just started dropping them off.
Like I feel like the tournament arc and then the training arc in the forest were like the last time we got to see the side cast really shine.
Yeah,
but
because then they started going with like the actual like heroes like Hawks and everything. So, like I get it, but and to be fair, Hawks is awesome in this chapter. Always love Hawks.
I love Hawks.
But where do you see this going now that they broke his like mask thing. What does that actually do to him? I forget.
Well, he can't breathe.
Oh, okay.
Like, he's on life support. It's like life support. So I don't see this being the end of the fight just because of how much this guy's been built up for the whole series.
There's no way Jiro's doing this.
So yeah. So I think we got a little bit more in this fight. And then we'll probably switch on to something else. Because
I will say, I mean,
Or maybe not Shigaraki. I feel like there's
there's still other.
there's Nomus that we have to fight, and then there's also, did the Tomer fight end with a?
I'm not. I don't think so.
I think Ochako needs to fight Tomura still.
Yeah, you're right. They ended in like a page of her like smiling. I don't think that fight ended. So yeah, that's what needs to happen. Is there any other League of Villains characters left? Is the Ninja Turtle looking guy still around? I forget his name.
Oh, Spinner. Yeah.
Yeah, Spinner. Yeah.
They had a chapter talking about him as well. So he's going to have a fight too.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's still a decent amount left, but I mean,
Yeah.
this is probably going to be a theme every week where we talk about this. It is ending like within a year probably. So
I can't see. Like, I feel like if they continue the story after this arc, it's going to just be really weird.
I really hope they don't.
Yeah, I really hope they don't either. Also, there's been talks about the series ending for like a while now, so it's pretty clear that it's ending.
Yeah.
Also, My Hero Vigilantes ended. I don't know if you read that, but
I don't. But
I used to read it, but I was surprised to see that ending. But
when I saw that and I was like, oh, they want to end the spinoff before they end the main series. That's what that felt like to me. Are we good on My Hero? Should I bring them back in?
I think I'm good with it.
All right, cool. Get them in here, and then we gotta talk One Piece.
All right.
Oh, that's when I leave.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
It's the One Piece time.
One Piece.
I almost disconnected.
Yes, leaves. Like, all right, see you guys. Aiden, you want to kick us off on
what a chapter! Oh my god! I mean, obviously you guys read the scan, so your reaction, you've been sitting on this for a little bit. What the
I read them on
fuck?
Friday.
It was a great chapter. Such a good chapter. Kind of see, Luffy, wake up! Wake up, Luffy!
Dude, no,
let her in!
This man's about to sleep through the entire party, everything. It's so sad.
Let her in! Wake up, Luffy! Just let her in, bro. Just let her in. It's fine. I was like, I did not like. We all have a mutual friend who absolutely loves Yamato, and from the second I was like, oh man, I hope she gets in. But I just really didn't want. And he's been begging for her to join the crew. And I was like, man, I don't want to get my hopes up. Yamato might not join the crew. Jinbei just joined. Like, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, Jinbei just joined.
And like, obviously, we talked to her. Like, probably she's joining. Just to see it. Just to actually be like, yes, let's go. Like, maybe Luffy will be like, no.
Yeah, that's funny that you mention it, though. Like, Jinbei was like the one's like, yeah, that's all well and good, but you gotta listen to what the cap.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
He's just like, I don't know about this one
I
yet.
just joined. I need my time. Time. You can hear it.
I mean, I guess, like, I feel like Jinbei joined back in, like, way back in.
Yeah, no, he did. It was like
Fishman
technically like Fishman Island.
Yeah, but he like properly joined with them like
Whole Cake,
later
right?
in Whole Cake, which is I think also fine. I feel like it's also fine for you put it that way. I feel like it's perfectly fine for Yamato to join, and without being weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, wow,
his new design.
His design
so
is
good.
so fucking awesome. He looks so cool.
He looks like Odin.
Really well. His speech
looks
was
just
awesome.
like his
Does
father,
look like
dude.
Odin. His hair is cool. His speech was awesome. I'm excited. Everyone in Wano getting so excited, and because I felt like Wano's victory was like really, really, really earned. Like everyone was like, Wano now has a bright future, and everyone was begging for it. Whereas I feel like when they came through lots of places like Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, they didn't really make too much of an impact on the society. Where I feel like now they changed everything. Like they like people were living in Dressrosa before, and it wasn't too bad. Wano was fucked, and now it actually has hope.
Yeah, no, it does.
Really
and you know what's crazy? Wano's arc in One Piece, like the manga, has been going on since 2018, 4 years ago,
It's
dude.
been a long time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like we've been suffering on this journey with the people of Wano, and now finally it's like over. Luffy's a hero once again, but also it's like Momonosuke's journey has just been really great too.
Yeah.
Like he's like been saying, "Oh, it's been 20 years. I'm finally here. We're gonna change Wano. We're gonna make it great again." Shit like that. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that it's finally coming to a close. It's not like I hated Wano, but man, it's just been what ride.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, Bo, you want to pour out some thoughts?
I mean, you guys already covered it. It's in a fantastic chapter. It's just crazy to see Wano finally ending.
Yeah.
I caught up like right before Roof Piece happened, chapter 1000. So like I've only been reading weekly for a little over a year, but even still, it feels like I've been on this ride for so long. So like,
no, exactly. I'm in a very similar boat. Only about
so I mean, I'm just like, this is a great chapter. Love seeing Momonosuke's new design. I am ready for that post Wano post arcs are so good in One Piece.
Post-
we know about.
post
We're gonna
arcs
get.
are
Yeah,
fun.
we're gonna get an info dump. We're gonna get a lot. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna see
agree.
what's going on with
All
Sabo.
day.
My only gripe that I am worried about is please. I feel like we just need just a tiny bit more Kaido. Just a tiny bit more Kaido backstory. And
I think it'll just happen sometime else.
Yeah,
it's not right now.
Yeah.
Maybe with when we get more information on the Rocks Pirates, I think
Exactly.
That's when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
finally get more information.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean that's the only thing I just like. That's my only closure I kind of really need from Wano, and I feel like everything else will play itself out with these closing chapters, which I'm excited.
Right.
I am very excited.
And no, and another great thing, guys. Every single time, I love seeing it. Every single time I finish One Piece, no break next week. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
so good, so good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Before we bring Trent back, though, I just want to say, talking about the Kaido flashback and kind of the lack thereof, I do think Wano put an unnecessary amount of hype in people for a Kaido flashback after the Odin flashback.
Yeah,
I feel like expectations were already kind of way too high.
yeah, that's
So,
true,
like,
that's true.
Oda might not have much more planned outside of his association
that's
with the
also
Rocks
totally
Pirates.
true.
It's totally possible, and like
Yeah,
I would be a little disappointed, but
yeah.
I think expectations were high to begin with.
I think so, especially because like for me coming off the heels of like Doflamingo, I felt like it was like so much backstory just from other characters, and he was so intertwined, and I felt like Kaido just has like such a solid, powerful place in the world of One Piece. So I feel like to not get to know a little bit more about him would be a little weird, especially because he was built up so big. It was such a big climax. It meant a lot. Gear 5 was so important. I feel like Gear 5 is such a monumentous moment. And it will be for a long time because Gear 5's also not ugly like Gear 4.
It's not ugly.
Any Luffy power up is going to like break the internet for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that when it comes to the Kaido backstory, I don't think you have to worry too much if you're an anime watcher, because the anime is going to drag it out and give us like more information and stuff, because Oda will have input on the anime, especially when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah. I really would have liked it more if they made it longer, like the same length as a Kozuki Odin flashback, got his whole story. But maybe, like Bo said, he just doesn't have that much to say until we get to the Rocks Pirates like info dump.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm excited. I am continuing. Like it's just like I think the biggest takeaway was Yamato. Like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like half asleep reading it, and I was just like, oh, what? No way. Yeah.
It's great.
No, I'm excited. That was a big one. And that's our kind of wrap on, I guess, the magazine overall. We'll talk about a few more things, and then we'll close this episode up.
Let's get Trent back in.
Trent, come back, Trent.
Come back to us. All right.
Yeah, so that was this issue 27. What a great issue!
Really strong issue overall. I think.
Yeah.
I must say.
A great start to a new series. I'm excited. Next week we start Rururi Dragon, which will be exciting. I'm excited to see that one. A slice of life with the adorable looking dragon character. The one shot. I'd only seen screenshots from the one shot. Looks great. I'm excited to kind of
just based on reading the one shot. I would not be surprised if that series does very well.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
must
just
say.
like, I think
it just looks like it'll do well.
Yeah, it's just like
the main character.
Like a cute, attractive people are really gonna like flock. Like look at 02. She reminds me of 02 immediately, and I was like,
that's what I was thinking.
People are gonna
looks
flock
like
to it for sure.
Or it probably also looks a little bit like Power as a better example too.
Yeah, that's definitely.
No, have any of you read the one shot?
I have not read the one shot.
No, I haven't. Read it.
Entire time I was reading and I was getting Fujimoto vibes.
Oh,
really?
Then,
for sure.
All right, Trent's gonna eat that shit up then.
I'll probably read that right fresh off the podcast. But I do want to talk about a manga and kind of open the dialogue for other manga outside of Jump, but also still Shueisha. Love is War is like one of my all-time favorite manga. It is a Shueisha manga, so I feel like it's still a valid place to talk about it. It is ending. Like it is like I think we're counting down like 5 chapters. Like it is.
Oh snap!
Really?
I did not know that.
So yeah, like when the anime is getting to a huge arc, the manga is now like ending, and I think it can go on, but they did just do like there was a huge like issue climax resolution in the past like 20 chapters, and I got caught up at like right at the beginning of it, so it was super exciting. But yeah, like it's like ending, and that's like traumatizing. Like I love is War. It's like one of my favorite series. So to know that there will be a point where like when the anime ends, like there's no more jokes with Shujin Academy, which is crazy. I mean, because it's essentially they're graduating soon, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like the whole dynamic of the characters wouldn't really carry on into college.
No, because you have first years and you have second years, so that dynamic dies there.
I didn't even think about that.
but yeah, it's like crazy. I mean, I guess like every high school anime has like a ticking time bomb on it, except for Kokosei, because apparently you just don't have to when you're 4
Yeah,
years
I
old.
mean, when
And
high
also,
school manga
they've
isn't
also
high school anymore, it's
they've
somewhere.
also thrown in the idea of getting held back. Like Kokosei
Okay, that's pretty good.
Kokosei's insane. Like
The dad's getting held back. Sorry.
yeah.
Or the cat.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like they had a character. They had their seniors. They graduated, and some of them just like came back to high school. They're like, "Aren't you not in high school anymore?" The dude's like, "I don't have anything to do." Like what? So,
That's awesome.
yeah, no, Kokosei is great for that. But yeah, no, Love is War ending is just really, really sad. I think it's down to about 5 chapters. If anyone's interested, especially
How many chapters are there?
265 is the.
Oh, well, that's
chapter.
longer than I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty long.
Yeah, and the anime right now is covering about like chapters 120 to like 150, I think, is what the season will cover. So we have a
since
lot.
I'm anime only. I mean, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll still have my fill
There's
for a
plenty of
while.
anime, and I think with it ending and then this new season coming to a wrap really quick with a big arc, I think it'll see a lot of new manga readers, and now being on the Jump app, that's a big deal. It's like the Jump app isn't too far behind, so that's really good. Yeah, it's just crazy. I feel like there's so much ending now. Like Golden Kamuy ended only a couple of weeks ago, which is insane. That was a really big. Yeah, 314 chapters I think it ended at.
I need to hop on that then.
Yeah, Golden Kamuy.
Yeah, Trent mentioned while we were talking about My Hero, Vigilantes ended a few weeks ago too. So
that's crazy. Like there's so much that's ending currently, which is crazy. Like Dr. Stone as well.
God, I miss it. I miss it so much. Although I don't know if you guys saw the author.
He said it's not over.
He said it's not over. He said it's not
that's
over.
crazy.
So I don't know because did any of you read Dr. Stone?
I have not read Dr. Stone.
I didn't read Dr. Stone, but I'm a big fan of the anime.
They blatantly set up that they could come back. Like they blatantly set up a sequel.
Yeah,
They did.
But
I do like that when
I hope it comes back,
That'd
dude.
be
I
great.
need it.
That'd be great.
It was my favorite series in Jump until it ended.
Yeah.
So,
No,
But
that's exciting. I definitely want to read Dr. Stone. Also, to the Jump Plus side of things, we have Dawn to Dawn, which I like. If you guys are not reading, it's such an incredible manga. Like it is like 10 out of 10 every chapter.
It's like a must read, I think.
Like it is phenomenal. It's super out there. Like I think a lot of like Alien Area's strong suit, Dawn to Dawn is just the master of. It has insane art, really creepy, but also really fucking cool action. Like
I read a synopsis on it, and it's saying like in the synopsis it was like 2 characters, one believes in aliens, one believes in ghosts or something like that, and they're both right. Yeah, I just think that sounds fucking awesome.
It's so
like
cool.
I want to read it.
The first chapter is disorientating. Like it is like you're like
the first chapter is like the craziest thing you'll ever fucking read.
it's literally a mind fuck. Like you like got to get into it. You're like, wait, what? I thought this was gonna be a gag. What the fuck is this? And then it like really normals out in like chapters 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, definitely worth it. It's amazing.
Every chapter, I look forward to it every week.
Yeah, it's such a good-
that and Kaiju number 8 are 2 things.
I was gonna bring it up. Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, I need to read
the
Kaiju
best art
number 8.
ever.
It's awesome.
Best art ever.
Yeah, they
Top-
put
it's up there.
these amazing manga in Jump Plus, and I think Jump Plus is getting a brand new manga, and we're talking about this. Jump SQ it's coming to
Jump Square.
Right.
Yeah. Which is looks like a really cool new manga called, and I'll tell you that in about 5 seconds.
It's like it's about delinquents though. It's like
I know
it's about delinquents taking on odd jobs, and the art that we've seen is really good. Oh, big Gintama fan over here has heard Odd Jobs and fucking started popping off.
Yeah. No, Goku Rakugai is what it's called. So definitely keep that on your radar. The first chapter releases on July 4th. Another one that's in that same magazine is Shoha Shoten. So I definitely want to talk about Shoha Shoten. I know Trent reads it. I read it.
I did not.
You don't read it?
No.
I thought you read it. That's crazy. I've been talking to you like you read it this whole time. Do you
It's
read
the second time in this podcast where you thought I read Kokosei as well.
I was just messing with you. You don't read
Okay.
Kokosei. Do you read Shoha Shoten?
No,
Okay,
no, I'm
this is
interested
good.
in it because
Yeah, it's Obita art. So Obita art, like I'll read it even if it's hot garbage, and I've done that before. That's a bag of worms that'll be fun to open one day.
wait, whoa. I need to know.
We can say like Platinum End. I think Platinum End.
Okay,
I
that's fair.
want to talk about Platinum End on this podcast one day.
I still need to read through it. I read like half of it.
We'll talk. We need to talk more about like I want to talk more about the future of the channel and stuff after this podcast's over in private. Sure. But yeah, no, definitely
want to talk about Platinum End at some point. There's a lot of series that obviously because the big focus of talking about the Weekly Shonen Jump is obviously what's going on, but there's a lot behind us that is definitely worth talking about. But no, Shoha Shoten is very similar in tonality to Akane-Banashi, where it's something where you feel like wouldn't perform well in manga form, but it does. Shoha Shoten is about a comedy duo, like two high school students wanting to become comedians, on-stage comedians, and it's
like
really, really good. It's the same structure of like, oh, I'm pursuing an art, and this is the struggle of pursuing an art.
Like Akane-Banashi and PPPPP.
Yeah, very much like that. And then it's got Obita art in a comedy setting, which is really good. The jokes are funny, and which is obviously the number one concern. But it's also not also it doesn't also just thrive on jokes being funny. It also thrives on it being like interesting, and you want to see them succeed. And there's cool drive there, interesting characters, cool designs. So I was like, it's definitely just a cool one by Obita that's worth checking out. It is monthly, so it is the 50 pages a month. So I love it. And when Obita's writing stuff, drawing stuff, it's always just cool to look at his art. His art
is always peak.
So beautiful. But yeah, that's another one to keep an eye out for. But yeah, I think with that, if you guys want to kind of call it wraps on this episode.
Yeah, I think that thank you guys seriously to everyone that supported the first episode.
Oh yeah, we got amazing feedback on the first one, so thank you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you everyone very, very much. If you guys want, we have all of our socials linked down below. Follow us on there. If you need any kind of manga news, any kind of coverage on Shonen Jump, this is the #1 place to find it. As always, we are the Manga Panel Podcast, and we'll see you all in the next one.
See you guys in issue 28.
Yeah.
See ya.
28.
Yeah.